bristle brush to catch every single lap.
Imagine waiting years for something, not just a comeback, but a return. 7 people going through separation, service, silence, growth, and then finally standing together again. And the first word that we get from them regarding said comeback is not trendy, it's quite simple, it's quite beautiful actually. It's Ariran. BTS just announced their album title, Ariran, along with the pre-order information. And I don't think we're fully grasping how intentional, how emotional, and how deep this choice really is. So for today's video, guys, I want to break this down into 2 parts. First, the album itself, the packaging, what it comes with, the versions, because we're getting multiple versions. And then the second part, the heart of it, the name Ariran, and why this word, why this title feels less like branding and more like destiny. Let's talk about the album. So Big Hit and BTS announced the components, the versions, the multiple versions, 16 guys, 16 versions that will be available for Ariran. And it's going to be divided into 3 weeks. We don't have a specific description as to what those weeks mean. My assumption, and I think the overall consensus, is that they're going to be releasing these versions with the respective weeks. So, for example, the week of March 20th would be week 1, and then the next week it'll be week 2, the next week will be week 3, which I think it's genius. Some people are saying that that's probably for the pre-order. Whatever is in week 1 is the first week of pre-orders, then the second week of pre-orders, and then the third week of pre-orders. That could also be it, or maybe even both. But let's go through week 1. Week 1, whether it be pre-order or the release of them, we are going to be getting 13 versions. Starting off with the CD versions, the first one being the Living Legend version. Come on, self-awareness. Then we have Rooted in Korea version and Rooted in Music version. I mean, come on. Living Legend, they know they're living legends. Rooted in Korea, they come from Korea, they're Korean. Very straightforward, but very proud of being from Korea. And then Rooted in Music, BTS as a group, as artists, as talent, their passion is music. Then we have a Weverse albums version. Then we move on to the LPs. In other words, the vinyls. We have a modern Korea vinyl and a group red vinyl. The next ones, guys, the next 7 are individual member vinyls. We have RM with silver, Jin with pink, Suga with clear, J-Hope with cream, Jimin with burgundy, V with velvet red, and Jungkook with orchid. Ooh, I want all 7, but ooh, that's gonna cost me a pretty penny. For week 2, we have a travel tag CD box set. So this is a CD with a special travel tag that you can like literally hook on to wherever you want. And on week 3, we have 2 final vinyls. The first one being a deluxe vinyl, black and white version, and the second being a deluxe vinyl, color version. And listen, I could go through every single component that each version is gonna have, but it's just that could be like a whole other video. I'm just gonna post all 16 graphics here. Boom. Yeah, guys. I suggest that you go to Weverse and look at the notice, read all about it, because it'll tell you like all the photo card information, poster information. Some might even have stickers and like everything that comes in that specific version package. But I just can't go through every single one. That would be an hour video. It's important to note that the pre-orders do start January 16th today, Korean Standard Time, by the way. Over here in the States, we're on the 15th still. But in Korea, it's already the 16th. And it starts at 11 a.m. Korean Standard Time. So that is tonight for us. If you're in the States, that is tonight. And maybe other countries that are also going to be at nighttime. There is a link in the notice as well where you can click and pre-order, pre-save, do what you got to do to support the guys. Now that brings us to the title, because that's where everything locks into place. If you're not Korean, Or maybe you do because you've heard this word before. Why? Because BTS have sang this song before. At the 2016 KCON in France, there was an opening performance which BTS took part in, and they performed the song Ariran. So if you're an ARMY, or you just know about this performance, this is not the first time that we've heard this word before. Or maybe you're not Korean and you've heard this word before because it is part of Korean history. But Arirang isn't just a song. It's often called Korea's unofficial national anthem. It's a folk song about separation, longing, and endurance. About people being forced apart from each other, from home, and surviving. It's a song that's followed Korea through colonization, displacement, and division. A song that carries grief, but also resilience. Now here's where it starts to feel unreal. Long before K-pop existed, long before world tours and chart records, in 1896, there were 7 Korean students studying at Howard University in Washington, D.C. They shared Korean melodies with American audiences, including Arirang. They were far from home, living in another country, carrying their culture with them through their music. And those 7 students didn't just perform it. Their version of Arirang became the first known recording of the song in the United States. Let that sink in.
Sausage looks good.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See, I told ya. They're good.
Prevent tough residues with the power of finished jet product.
Find money in every purchase you make to redeem on any purchase you want to make. Earn up to 4% cash back with the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite Card.
Hickman Brew.
Breathe with me. 7 Koreans in America, separated from home, recording Arirang. Now fast forward over a century. 7 Koreans in America, separated, reunited, changed, recording an album called Arirang. Tell me that isn't fate. This is not a coincidence. And for those of you who might not know what I'm getting at, BTS started recording Arirang, their album, in the US. Remember when they were in the US for 2 whole months, starting in July of last year, to record the album? This is all tying into going back to their roots. Remember, the guys have been saying that before K-pop had a name, before the world knew Korean music the way they do now, Arirang was already crossing borders, already connecting Korea to the US through longing, identity, and sound. And now BTS, the most global Korean artist in history, are deliberately choosing that song, that name, that legacy at this exact moment in their lives. They could have chosen anything, but they chose Arirang. That's a beautiful thing. Like I couldn't feel like my voice get like that's just so beautiful. To be that proud of where you come from, to be that passionate, it's inspiring. This isn't BTS in the beginning. This isn't BTS trying to prove anything. This is BTS after everything. After service, after separation, after the world kept moving and still waited. Choosing Arirang isn't about nostalgia. It's about grounding. It's BTS saying, we didn't disappear. We endured. And we're still here together. And there's something incredibly powerful about them reclaiming a name that represents Korean pain, survival, and history without translating it, softening it, or packaging it for anyone else. This is identity. This is memory.
That explains
This
the
is
red.
home. BTS are so proud to be Korean that they are carrying this through the entire era. I was today years old when I realized the stage setup is literally.
Oh!
Going by my Twitter numbers, it seems like a lot of you just noticed it as well. Another thing is that they have renamed the world tour to BTS World Tour Ariran. They were just waiting for the album title announcement. And I also noticed that the symbols in the Korean flag also match with the red symbols that BTS have shared with us. Specifically two. The first one being Gon, which the social fabric states the strong stay together. And the third one being Ri,
Oh!
which signifies the strong protect the weak. Let's hear what BTS have to say about this.
Here we are, BTS. We're so excited to share our new album, Ariga.
This album reflects the culmination of our journey to date as BTS.
And it also defines us on our path.
We've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
And we prepared this album thinking of our fans.
Every track has a unique story and vibe, so we hope you enjoy all of them.
Thank you for always being by our side. You're our biggest inspiration. Thank you.
This is from Apple Music, by the way. If you open their page, that photo is on there as part of Armiran, which I think is super cute to name it that. It will be accompanied by a video, but as of the recording of this video, that video has not been published, or else I would have shared it with you guys. But we do have the audio. And in it, specifically, Yoongi states like this is the most us, represents us the most. And remember, when they first announced the album, The Comeback, they clearly stated this is the truest form of BTS. This is something else, guys. This is another level of legendary status. Like, I can't put into words how exciting this is, how powerful this is going to be, how iconic it is already. What do you guys think? Let me know. Are you going to pre-order? Are you going to pre-save? What is your plan? Thank you so much for watching my
money for
video,
the
guys.
tickets.
Thank you for all the support. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Adios.
Leah's working hard, growing. Pampers is working hard, keeping him dry. Only Pampers Swaddlers has a Keep Dry liner to keep him comfortably dry. Pampers, behind every baby.
Humans spend 6 years of their lives waiting. James is waiting to see results.
Guys, I can't even brace you guys for what's about to happen. The tarot reader says, you have trust issues, you are the problem. Tulawani! Tulawani! This is not Nat Geo Wild. You can go in there and do something. Do something, please! Hey guys, it's Angela. If you're new here, subscribe so we can become besties. Hello! This is literally a visual representation of what will be the moment you hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, you guys already read the title, so let's just get right into the video, shall we? If you don't know what's happening, then you didn't watch part one. So go ahead and go watch part one before you come back here so we can just wrap up this series, because it's truly just a mess. If you thought part one was bad, then this one's really going to give you a headache. We left off in our last video with our 5 girls in the following situations. We had Katie, who was a redheaded girl who swore on her cat's lives that she was living in a cave with, named Jack, shared no common interest with her, so that eventually fizzled out and they decided to just be friends. And then we still have Camilla, who's the only ethnically Korean woman in the group, and she's more on a self-discovery journey rather than on a more romantic journey like the other girls, but she's also going to be dibbling and dabbling in romance. Then we have Marina, who was the taller, more tan woman in the group, and she and her man, Suwong, actually got engaged, and now their only main obstacle is the fact that her fiance's mother doesn't want him moving over to Brazil. Then we have Mari, who is the dirty blonde with her man, Danny, but I've still got my eye on them because despite the fact that he seems all nice and bubbly, I can't forget the fact that he left her at the airport for 2 hours and basically ghosted her there. Finally, we have Luani, who is a blonde woman with a kid, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are here to see how her story ends up, because she has a man who constantly lies to her, has money problems, throws tantrums at the big age of 35 years old, and we just found out at the end of the last episode that he cheated on her. So, yeah. He raises my blood pressure to an extreme unhealthy amount, but we're all, yes, we are all hoping that she ends up leaving him because he's a very toxic kind of guy, but unfortunately all she's ever known is toxic, unhealthy relationships, so she can't really see that this guy is the horrible guy that he is, the horrible, toxic, evil, bum, broke guy that he is. She can't see it, but we can all see it, so we're all hoping that she leaves him. I do these recaps telling you guys exactly how I felt at that moment, so let's just dive right in, shall we? Where we left off, Luani's talking to her man. Wait, that's good. I actually forgot his name. Luani was talking to her man, Siwan, and she was basically bringing up the fact that he's constantly lying to her, constantly breaking promises. He's always acting immature, and it doesn't even seem like he really cares about her for real. She's like pouring her heart out, telling him all of this while she sat down at the bed. Which, mind you, he came in here with a grumpy attitude, folding his hands like this, and barely even looked at her until they actually sat down. Just want to let you guys know, in case you guys did not listen to me and go watch the other video, he was throwing a tantrum before they sat down to have this conversation. Of which, Siwan responds to her basically saying like, actually, I'm hurt and I'm upset because this whole time we've been here, you've just been not caring about my feelings, you've been making me embarrassed about everything, and you're all up in my private information and all up in my private business without even considering how that would make me feel. When the whole time his private information is him just being a broke ass bum, if we're being real. Him saying this sets Luani off to the point where she's just like, you have the audacity to sit here and be mad at me when the whole time you're telling me all this and telling me that you're embarrassed, that you don't feel seen, that you feel embarrassed, that you feel like I'm playing with your feelings, when the whole time you cheated on me with another woman. And I want you guys to keep in mind that all of this happening, all this toxic situation, all the fact that he's cheated on her already, they've only been in a relationship for like 6 months at this point. And speaking of him cheating on her, I'm very confused because, okay, if we want to be honest, he has nothing going for him and he's not even cute for real. So I'm just a bit confused as to how he found somebody to cheat with. And I'm sorry if I'm being shallow or superficial, but we were all thinking it, and I'm just gonna be the one to say it. I'm gonna be the one to say it. There's multiple guys in this group, and I'm telling you right now, he's definitely not the cutest one, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not woke. Okay, fine. You win. That's what you want, right? To win.
He's broke and he has a pissy attitude all the time. I don't get the appeal. Whenever guys like this find a woman to cheat with, I always wonder how are you doing this? Who is allowing you to? Okay, but even after being confronted about the situation, he's not even like, oh babe, I'm sorry. Oh babe, you know I didn't want to talk about that because it hurts me so much, the fact that I was so unfaithful to you, and you know I would never do that against you. I wasn't in the right mind. No, he doesn't say anything like that. Instead, all he says is, we agreed to leave the past behind us and just move on. That's what he says in rebuttal to her saying that you lie, you break your promises, you cheated on me with another woman. That's all he has to say. And in every other situation, he's always lying and making fake promises, but even this time, he couldn't even come up with a fake promise. He's just like, whoa, I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that. You couldn't even lie to me and tell me that you felt bad about that? And Wani's like, how would you like it if I cheated on you and if I broke all my promises? You're the one who's stressing me out all the time, and the only reason why I let you is because I love you and because I care about you. But now I don't even know how I feel about you because of all this stupid stuff that you're doing. And on top of that, why did you have to tell me the price of the flowers that you got me? Which I think is a very valid point to bring up because I didn't even know he was over here telling her how much the flowers he got her cost. And they're saying flowers in the show, but it's like, I didn't forget, baby. You had a singular rose that you pulled out from your bag. It was not a bunch of roses. It was not a bouquet of roses. It was a singular flower. If you're giving flowers to somebody as a gift, why would you tell them how much it costs? And then the broke man responds like, all you're doing is attacking my weaknesses. Well, mind you, debt and weaknesses are all that he has. And then since he knows that he's losing that part of the argument, he decides to redirect the argument back to somewhere else. And instead he just starts saying, I didn't even come here to talk about that. I didn't come here to talk about my infidelity or the fact that I'm a broke ass bum or the fact that I yell and throw tantrums. I didn't come here to talk about that, okay? I came here to talk about us and our relationship. You know, I cared so much, and like you don't even see how much I care, but like I even brought you this rose. And he pulls out yet another singular rose and puts it on the bed. And he's like, I got you this to lift your spirits. The whole time she's just sitting there crying on the bed, and he's just sitting there like, well, I got you a flower. And she's like, just sitting there, like, he does not care. and he sees her as a nuisance. I'm just like, girl, all these K-dramas that you watch, all these places that you're finding inspo from, you watched all these shows and you couldn't find a glass of water nearby to throw at this bum? I actually feel frustrated for her. Anyways, we switch back to the other girls who are having a night of karaoke, because if you don't remember, in the last episode, all the girls are going out for a night of karaoke, while Luani and her broke-ass man were staying in the house to go talk about their whatever they have, relationship. So all the girls are doing karaoke. To be honest, nothing significant really happens except for the fact that they're all there talking shit about Luani's man. And I'm watching this and I'm just nodding in agreement because they're saying all the right things. Like everything I was thinking, they were also saying right there. But we go back to Luani and her broke-ass man having a conversation, and Luani's continuing to talk about her feelings and about her situation. She's just pouring her heart out about everything, and he responds, well, what do you want me to do then? And I want to remind you guys that he has not said sorry not even one time throughout this entire ordeal. Luani, in response to the broke-ass man, she's just like, I think we should go our separate ways. Yes! Yes, yes! Yes, yes! And after she says this, and you can tell like it took her a lot to get it out. Like she was crying, she was like struggling really hard to say it, but she actually eventually gets it out. And he responds by saying, okay, yeah, let's do that. See ya. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hate this dude. Like, wow. Wow. Like, I was gonna say no, but why are you saying no? Because like if he actually cared about the relationship and he wanted to have a long-term relationship to the point where like, oh yeah, Isla and I, we can be a family. Like I'm looking at this long-term with you, baby girl. Like I'm thinking about our future. I'm thinking about our marriage. I'm thinking about our future babies. If he really cared, he would have fought for the relationship. So it was just showing that he truly just did not care that much. So he walks out, he gets up, and he leaves the room. And guess what? Guess what? Luani chases after her. This dumb... No, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Like, Luani, I know you don't know any better, but, like, you're still irritating me. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You should have left that guy. You should have let him be. Like, you're talking about all your grievances. He doesn't care. He finally gets up and leaves, and you chase after him. But luckily, she doesn't ask for him back. She just chases after him, and she's just like, can I just get one last hug as a goodbye? Because she says that, like, this is the last time that she's going to see him, so she's just like, you know what? Can I just get a hug? Goodbye. Mind you, this bum doesn't actually give a fuck. But he knows the cameras are on him, so he's just like, yeah. He goes back to aggressively patting her head, and he's just like, you know what? Let's just leave this relationship as a happy memory, you know? We can just think back to it as a good thing that happened. Why are you saying that? Like, I feel like I've literally heard that line before. This guy is so theatrical. Like, he does everything for the cameras. Like, he probably thinks he's that bitch. He's probably just like, oh, wow, I look so cool on camera right now. You look stupid. You look dumb. You sound stupid too. And he leaves and goes downstairs, and Luani's just there crying and sad. And I just really feel bad for her because she truly feels like she let go of something important, and she feels like she didn't fight hard enough for the relationship. When the whole time he's just a bum. Like he's just a loser, and he treats her poorly. But she doesn't see that because again, all she knows is toxic relationships. All she knows are bad relationships. So she sees this guy and she thinks that this is like the best thing that has ever happened to her, despite the fact that she's still struggling throughout the relationship. But then, we cut to another scene with Luani. I'm thinking we about to go back to the karaoke place because we're going back and forth between scenes. No, we cut to another scene with Luani, and she's fighting for this broke-ass bum man, but now they're just on the ground floor level instead of upstairs. And she's just like, why aren't you fighting for our relationship? Why are you letting this relationship go so easily? And I was like, what? I'm for real confused. I'm like, what's going on? You done said bye to this dude about 3 different times. Why is he still on my screen? And the girl is smiling while she's saying all this because this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted the girl to chase after him, to run after him, to beg for him. This is exactly what he wanted. And he's just like, honestly, I knew you didn't actually want to break up. Let's work through this relationship together. The only person I've ever wanted is you. We just found out you cheated. Like, we just found out, like, not even 30 seconds ago. We just found out you cheated. And you're gonna come here saying the only person I've ever wanted and will ever want is you. And Luani takes him back. If you guys feel like that was a roller coaster and you're just like, wait, what's going on? What is she saying? Imagine how I felt. I truly thought that she let him go. He kept on showing up on the screen. Every single time he showed up, I thought it was gonna be the last time. Whole time she done takes him back, and now I've been subjected to having to see this man on my screen for future notice. Like, I've always heard about how toxic relationships happen, but this is the first time I'm like seeing it unfold in front of me, to see all their private conversations and how exactly all of this happens before they stay in a relationship together. This is my first time actually seeing it. And trust me when I say I never ever blame the victim. I support women's rights and wrongs. Sorry about it. So sorry about it. I would even go so far as to say that I'm as close to being a misandrist as possible before it starts getting controversial. And even I'm about to go beat Luani's ass myself because there's no way you just played in my face like that and took this man back. And he didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to do anything. Like, he didn't even grovel. He didn't do anything. He got up and he left. He didn't apologize. He didn't say sorry. He didn't even look like he felt bad. He brought you one fuck ass rose and you're chasing after him and you took him back? Are we being for real? The next day, rolls around and all the girls are outside chilling, and they're basically just talking about their situations. And eventually they get to Luwani, and Luwani goes ahead and has to break the news to them that she basically took this bum-ass, broke-ass man back. And before she can even say that she took him back, she's already doing damage control for him because everybody knows he's a piece of shit. So she's just like, you know what, as we talk, like, he really opened his heart about me. He was really vulnerable with me about how he felt about his situation and how much he wants to work about our situation. I'm just like, girl, you know we got the footage, right? Like, you know we saw your conversation, right? He was about to leave and you ran after him. Even the other girls were just like, so you chased after him? Like, eyebrow, like, what? And they were all scratching their heads, you know, not mad, just disappointed. We then start moving on towards the other girls again, and Mari's main goal is to make Danny hers by kissing him, because that's the only real problem in the relationship, like their level of intimacy and closeness, I want to say, if we ignore the fact that he left her at the airport for 2 hours, is that he's not one for skinship while Mari wants the relationship to move forward. And Marina, who is recently off Young's, her main problem is basically just trying to get Suwon, her man's mom's approval to them getting married and moving over to Brazil, because she knows they're going to do it anyways, but she says like she would rather have the approval from the mother in order to get rid of any future nuances about the whole situation. We flash over to Mari and her man Danny's apartment, and he basically drops a line like, you know what, apart from my mom, you're the only girl I've ever brought into this apartment. Like, I don't even allow my friends to come in here. And Mari and I are looking at each other like, that's eyelashes? Like, stare. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, so we'll just say that it's true and move on. They start having a conversation on the couch after Danny cooks like some pancakes for them, and Danny goes ahead and asks Mari, hey, what are your future plans? But he says it in a way that kind of has like the tone and the connotation of like, what are your individual plans for your future, because you know damn well I'm not going to be in it. That's kind of how he says it. And this kind of segues into a different conversation where Danny's just like, hey, so like, how is dating like in Brazil? And he's like, because in Korea we don't really kiss other people unless we're in a relationship with them. And Mari doesn't say this out loud, but in her head she's basically like, so what are you trying to say, that we're not even in a relationship? Which I feel like is so valid for her to think, because why are you acting like I'm making up the level to which our relationship extends, when the whole time you knew I was coming to Korea specifically for you? Why are you trying to make this seem like some sort of casual thing when you know that it's not casual? Anyways, we flash forward to Marina out with her man Suwong, and they're basically doing some wedding planning. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, Camila is swiping through her dating apps because she just wants to go out on a date with somebody. His name is Yuchan, and it's cute, but like nothing really significant happens during the date, but they do decide that they're going to go on another one and see each other again. And again, I'm not really sure how this makes sense long term, because eventually Camila's going to have to go back to Brazil. It's not she's doing some sort of self-discovery with the intent of staying in Korea. She knows full and well that she's going to be going back to Brazil. That's where her family is, that's where her friends are, that's where her life is. But who am I to play Cupid? I'm just going to let them do whatever they want to do. Moving forward, Marina goes out to a restaurant with her man because they're expecting to see her man's mother to go ahead and proceed to tell them that they're engaged and they're planning to like move over to Brazil eventually. Marina's fiance Suwon was supposed to go ahead and tell his mother all this stuff, but he never really told her everything. And he says the reason why he doesn't tell her is that he's somewhat intimidated by his mother. I'm like, boy, you guys are grown. You guys are grown. You guys are in your 30s. Like, I get respecting your mother, but intimidated to the point where you don't want to tell her your life plans for your life when you're about to hit 40 years old? You know what I mean? Like, come on. And trust me, I listen to my parents. I am a Ghanaian. I listen to my parents. But like, it comes to a certain extent. You're already deciding that you're going to marry this woman, so you might as well just break the news. But boom, this leads us over to the next episode. Suwong's fiance walks in and sits down at the table, and his mother also walks in and comes to sit down at the table. Luckily, when they sit down, Suwong is the one going ahead and telling the mother everything that they're planning to do, rather than Marina doing it, which low-key, looking back at it, makes the most sense because Marina doesn't speak Korean and the mother doesn't speak Portuguese. But I think the main point that they're trying to say is that he should have told the mother before they sat down at the table that they were getting engaged and moving over to Brazil. And so after her fiance breaks the news, Marina goes ahead and she pulls out a letter that she's handwritten in Korean, and she gives over to her fiance Suwong in order for him to read to his mother. And this letter makes everybody emotional to the point where everybody was crying and everybody was just like overall very touched by the entire situation that was happening. So the whole time they're just trying to build up this whole thing where like Marina's future mother-in-law isn't going to approve of their marriage and isn't going to approve of the fact that they're going to be living in Brazil, and she's going to be like this stereotypical Korean mother who doesn't approve of her son's wife. Like, you know, like the whole trope. They're basically playing this up this entire time. The whole time she done approved, and Marina's just that bitch. But I'm not gonna lie, the way that the fiance's mother was talking did kind of have like the air of like, oh, I don't really want this situation for my son, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just gonna say okay because it's his life. She did kind of have that air. But at the end of the day, she approved of their situation, so it is what it is. And they even go so far as to say that, like, Marina, you have to learn Korean, and then your kids have to learn Korean too, and then they have to come over and visit me and all that stuff, all in good nature. And everything is so great and so dandy to the point where they actually even go out and look for dresses for, like, their proposal photos. And while they're trying on all these dresses, Marina, of course, looks.
With over 140 skilled trades to
Of
choose
course,
from,
you're
there's
buying
more
Korean, you have
opportunity
to learn
than ever
Korean.
to build a stable, secure future for you and your community.
Honestly, if it was that serious, we should have already been learning Korean.
Ontario.
It started with a few strands, and then it was everywhere. Stop the shedding with Pantene Abundant and Strong System, powered by provitamins to strengthen hair at the root and reduce hair fall by 85% for denser hair at a fraction of the cost. Pantene.
Secondhand made faster, magically easy. Sit back and watch your beloved items sell themselves. All you need to do, just open Carrot.
Gorgeous. Moving on, Katie decides to go on another date since she and Jack have decided to just be friends. So unfortunately, we will not be seeing that face on our screen any longer. And at this point, I'm wondering why they keep on finding more guys. But it's just like, I guess that's the whole premise of the show. And I heard through the grapevines, not the same grapevines as the other video, this is from a different vineyard, but I heard through the grapevines that production has basically been forcing or more like encouraging them to go find more and more Korean guys to go date with. And again, I get that that's the whole concept of the show and they need a source for their footage and for their plot, but it makes the show seem even more disingenuous. Like, it was already a stretch having these women fly from Brazil over to Korea to see how the relationships would be, but like, it was starting to make sense because it was just like, oh, it's not they just flew here specifically to find Korean boyfriends. They already had relationships and they were just trying to see how they would work since they're long distance. So it kind of like put down the levels of like, okay, you guys are just going after Korean men and that's weird. Let's just say it blatantly, that's weird. But now that after these relationships have basically been severed off and we have this vibe where like production is forcing them to go out to find different men, to talk to different Korean men in Korea, I don't want to say fetishizing, but I have like no better word for it other than disingenuous, but that's also not really what I'm trying to say. But I hope that me saying that gets the message across that I'm trying to say, and I gave up. So we're just gonna move on, hoping that you get what I'm trying to say. But she goes on this date with this guy named Sung Il, and I'm not gonna lie, like, he looks really young, like, and he also mentions that he's a singer, so I low-key feel like he wants to like get on here for publicity, but we're not gonna dive deep into that. They go ahead and they use the translation device because unlike Jack, this new guy doesn't understand English, so they don't have a common language anymore. Overall, the date goes fine, I guess. Like, nothing really significant happens, but they do joke around enough to the point where like he even gives her a kiss on the cheek, but again, nothing significant really happens. Moving on, Mari goes on another date with her man Danny, and she still has the same objective as before, which is to make Danny hers by giving him a kiss. And they go on what everybody would consider a date, but Danny seems to go out of his way to not acknowledge it as a date, but rather more of just like an outing, even though there's a whole bunch of couples around and they're like holding hands and doing stuff. And there are multiple times where the atmosphere is nice and Mari's obviously looking at him hoping that he'll kiss her, but he never actually takes that forward step to kiss her. This goes up until eventually they're on a bridge together and he takes her over on this date, but eventually it's there where he like gives her a kiss on the cheek, but after he gives her a kiss on the cheek, he's like, it's a high kiss. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? What is a high kiss? Like, what's going on? And he's just like, well, I don't really want to rush into this. And Mari is obviously disappointed. And let me just say this, and I want you guys to stick with me as I say it, okay? Do I think Danny was rude for standing her up at the airport? Yes. Do I think Danny has been weird for not properly defining their relationship? Yes. Do I think that Danny has a negative connotation in his speech that someone looks down on the way that Mari is used to dating? Yes. But at the end of the day, I think this whole production of the show in general is somewhat pressuring him to do things that he doesn't want to do. He looks visually uncomfortable when Mari's hugging him. He looks uncomfortable when Mari's leaning on his shoulders. And he even looks uncomfortable when he kisses Mari on the cheek voluntarily. And yes, I do think that he's a weirdo for not just straight up telling Mari that he doesn't see himself in a long-term relationship with her. And I also do think that he somewhat put himself into this uncomfortable situation by simply not being frank with her about what he expects out of this whole experience. But I also feel like Mari can also tell that Danny doesn't really feel very comfortable with the situation that they're in and the amount of skinship and hugging and kissing that they're doing. And I feel like she shouldn't try to force something that just isn't coming naturally. But that basically ends their date, and she basically debriefs with the girls later, and they all just kind of tell her that she should just wait it out. We then get moved over to another scene with Luwani and Camila, and Luwani decides to call up the broke man's mother to see if she can basically arrange a meeting so she can go go ahead and tell her that she has a child already. And she even has Camila there in hopes that when Siwon's mother picks up the phone, Camila can go ahead and translate for them, since Camila speaks Korean and she can just translate on the phone call. But she calls and the mother does not pick up the phone. So I'm just thinking, like, damn, did this guy give her a fake number? Like, is he going that far to hide his lies and stop him from meeting his mother? Because he keeps on saying that he's going to show her his mother, but he's always like hesitant and he doesn't actually put in any effort to make it happen. And that's the whole reason why Luwani's like, I don't trust you to do that, because if I trust you to do that, you'll never get it done. So she takes it upon herself to do it instead. So I'm just like, dang, is he really going this far to stop him from meeting? But guys, I can't even brace you guys for what's about to happen. Like, later the girls go ahead and they go out and they're having a good time. And while they're all talking, Luwani basically gets a text from her broke-ass man, and he's like, hey girl, I'm in the area. And knowing Luwani's ass, she basically gets up and she's like, bye girls, and she goes to go talk to her bum-ass man. So she meets up with the broke man, and he basically goes ahead and he tells her that he has a tarot appointment that he set up for them. And if you don't know what like a tarot appointment, a tarot card reading is, it's basically like you go to this person and they look at cards, and those cards basically tell you about your life thus far, and they can also tell you about how your future is going to be based on the cards that you pick, and based on how like those cards align with your fates. I don't know too much about it, but like that's like surface level what I can tell you. But right off the bat, I'm already squinting my eyes because I'm like, there's no way this isn't set up. Like, I don't know who set it up. I don't know if it was production. I don't know if it was the broke man himself, but one of you guys set it up. And I'm honestly offended that you think that I'm dumb enough to think that this isn't set up. Who the fuck are you trying to fool? So they sit down for this tarot reading, and I kid you not, the tarot reader says, you have trust issues. You are the problem. To Luwani. So now we know who set it up. I knew it was somebody, but now we found out who set this up. So I'm just looking around, like, are we being dead ass right now? Like, are we being for real? Is nobody gonna stop him? No one's gonna stop this evil man. Okay. And the evil man is just sitting there, just nodding his head, just like this. Whole time this bullshit tarot reader is saying that Luwani's the problem for everything, and the reason why she's the problem is because she's overly sensitive and she's scared because she was hurt because of her past relationships. Guys, I can't make this up.
She has a kid.
I wish I was joking. They leave the tarot place, and Luwani's all shy and embarrassed because she's just like, oh my gosh, everything the tarot reader said was true. And the broke ass evil man is just there rubbing his hands together because his entire plan went off without a hitch, and they just move on like it's normal. They move on, they don't address it.
Manipulation.
Accept it, and they move on. Later in the night, Luwani gets a text from the evil man's mother, and she's basically reaching out because she wants to set up a meeting with Luwani. And Luwani's just like, perfect, I'm finally gonna tell his mother that I have a child. And this takes us to the final episode. Guys, we're finally about to be released from the shackles of the show, and we never had to turn back or look again, or else you will be turned into pillars of salt. Luwani sits down with the evil man's mother, and right off the bat, I feel bad because I already don't fuck with his mother, and it's not because of anything that she's done. It's just that she looks exactly like him. She looks exactly like the kid. Like, what can we say? Genetics. So like, I'm looking at her and I'm just getting irritated because I can see the evil man through her face. But I just had to take a second to like step back and calm myself down and like judge her by the contents of her character, not by her offspring. So Luwani goes ahead and gives his mother the translation device, and I'm hoping that these are new translation devices because otherwise they've been passing these around and I don't know if they've been cleaning them properly, but look, okay, off topic, but whatever. They sit down, they go through the formalities, like, hey, how you doing? No, it's nice. How's he doing? All that stuff. And the evil man's mother eventually starts a conversation like this. As his mother, I always worry about him. He's so kind and good and has such a kind heart. He never gave me any problems when he was growing up. I'm just like, oh, because why do I feel like I always hear this from the mothers whose sons always do the most heinous things imaginable? But obviously, I don't know this woman and I can't talk about her specifically, but I feel like in similar situations to this, it's always the mother who excuses her son's poor behavior and always takes his side, or at least only listens to his side of the story to the point where she always thinks that he's in the right for what he's done, which ends up leading to a lack of consequence and discipline for the son. And then because of that, later when he grows up, and because of that lack of discipline and because of that lack of consequence, they grow up continuing to think that they can do no wrong no matter how much they hurt other people. But you know, Luwani was just hypnotized by what the tarot reader said the other day, so she doesn't see anything wrong with what this guy's mother is saying, and instead she just seems to jump into what is her biggest problem thus far, which is addressing the fact that she has a child to the evil man's mother. Amidst this, we get moved over to another scene with Camila, who's going on a date with the guy that she swiped on the dating app, and they're meeting, and he seems very calm and mellow, which I think is a really good fit for Camila. Obviously, I don't know her, but I feel like Camila's the type of person who needs a partner who just kind of listens to what she's saying rather than being like too energetic or like talking back too much, you know? But nothing significant really happens, and again, Camila just kind of tongued herself that like, yeah, she's just gonna consider this an experience rather than something that she's gonna take on a higher, more romantic level. But they do set up another date. We go back to Luwani and Siwon's mother, and she basically goes ahead and she just says it. She's just like, if I had a daughter, would you mind that? And Siwon's mother is just like, oh, I don't really mind that at all. And she says it pretty quickly and pretty casually. It's not like she's like jumping for joy, but she's just like, no, I don't really mind, you know? Luwani starts crying immediately, and throughout their entire interaction, all I can think about is the fact that the evil man's mother is just so soft-spoken with her voice.
At Marshalls, our buyers hustle 24/7 to get you great deals on the good stuff.
If Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard had childhood ambitions to become architects, CIBC would work with them every step of the way. Or if they wanted to be mechanics, we'd have a personalized plan. Just like we'll have a plan for your ambitions too. CIBC, ambitions made real.
12 hours of fresh breath starts here. Before you can trust, clean, and rinse my morning breath with bath.
Hang on. Now we're minty fresh without the brain sensation of alcohol.
It's fresh again.
The best way I can describe what's happening here or how I felt while I was watching this is that the broke man Siwon is just evil, but he knows what a nice person is supposed to look and act like, and because of that, when he's interacting with others, he just imitates his mother as much as possible to come off as nice and kind and caring, because yeah, that's the best way. He's a reptile. He's a lizard person imitating the people and the humans to integrate into society. So Luwani and the evil man's mother are just having this really nice bonding moment, and I'm fully immersed into it. I'm just like, wow, this is so nice. Like, this is perfect. It's lovely. And all of a sudden, this evil man just pops out of nowhere, and I literally scream. Like, after watching, I scream because every other time I see Luwani, I can mentally prepare myself for the fact that the evil man is about to show up out of nowhere. But considering the fact that it was just Luwani and the evil man's mother, I wasn't expecting to see the broke-ass bomb. So when all of a sudden he just popped out of nowhere, I wasn't expecting it, and I had no warning, so I was taken by surprise. You're not gonna fault me for the fact that my nervous system is doing its job. He sits down and knows the fact that his mother is accepting of the relationship and the fact that she has a child, and he talks again about how this was his master plan and how he knew that his mother would be so accepting of the situation, which is why he doesn't even stress about bringing it up in the first place. And you know, he always says this after the situation that he's talking about has already taken place, which really irritates me because, boy, you knew you were testing the waters before the situation actually unfolded. You knew that. And it's also just like, you don't be getting tired. It's like, you're not exhausted. I can never be an evil person pretending to be good because my mask would slip up immediately. Like, it takes a lot for me to be upset with somebody, and I'm also the type of person where it's just like, I forgive people very easily, and I also always give people the benefit of the doubt, which low-key I should check that before I end up in a situation like Luwani. But when I've made up my mind that I don't like somebody's character, I can't hide it on my face. I can't hide the fact that I dislike your presence. So I don't know how this guy does it. I would be exhausted. I'm just saying. I would be exhausted putting up an act for everybody for such an extended period of time. But they leave the meeting hand in hand, and Luwani's all happy and stuff because she finally addressed what she considers her biggest problem, which I think she has bigger fish to fry in this relationship, apart from the fact that she has a daughter. And they even start going over their entire love story as if it was like a powerful movement through trials and tribulations, when the whole time Luwani was the only one struggling and going through trials and tribulations. And even after they're going through all these clips of how their relationship had led up to this part so far, the only part where the bum is crying is when he's talking about himself. The only time he was crying was when he was groveling in self-pity. Like, come on, you're not gonna, what are you doing? You're not gonna try to make me think that this is some sort of romantic struggle love. Oh, it's struggling for sure. It's struggling. But I hate it here. I feel gaslit. Anyways, we move on to Marina and her fiance, and now her approving mother-in-law, and they're taking all these bridal engagement photos, and again, she looks amazing. Meanwhile, Katie's now on another date with the guy that she was out on a date with earlier, and honestly, I can't even try to pretend like I care about what's happening here. I think production just forced her to get another guy to talk to, but they seem fine, I guess. But we also have Mari and Danny going through their own situation at the same time, so we're just gonna focus on them. So Mari and Danny are on another date, which Danny invited her to this location, and in this location is literally like a boardwalk with a whole bunch of padlocks on the walls of this like walking area of couples who have just decided to go over there and put like a lock there to like symbolize their love being everlasting and all that stuff. And Danny's the one taking her on this date. Well, who's to say that production didn't tell them to go there, but like the way it's set up, it makes it seem like Danny's the one who's inviting her to this date because he's already waiting there before she shows up. And as they're walking through all these padlocks, Mari's telling Danny like, hey, like we should totally get one, you know, because she likes Danny and she wants them to be in a relationship. But Danny's obviously kind of like turned off by the idea, and Mari can see it too, so she quickly changes it into like, as friends, like a friendship law. I feel so bad for Mari because this guy knows damn well that he's dead wrong for what he's been doing to her so far. Like, if you knew that you wouldn't be able to do a long-term relationship with her, why did you go ahead and give her the green light to fly all the way from Brazil all the way over here to see how your relationship would be? And the whole time when she actually did get here, you didn't ghost her at the airport. Like, I feel like I need to keep bringing this up because they're making it seem like he's this like super romantic, charming, and nice guy. But it's just like, if he was really so charming, really so nice, really so kind, he would have stood her up and ghosted her at the airport. And I'm not saying he's evil or anything. Like, if we're talking evil, we can go ahead and go talk about one bum-ass, broke-ass man. But like, I'm not saying that. But like, I am saying that like, I think he does have an avoidant attachment style when it comes to his relationships, or maybe just her in particular. I don't know this guy. yeah, you can be avoidant, and that's like a valid feeling to have, but you also have to understand that you being avoidant like that can hurt other people. And I think it's important to recognize the fact that those things can happen at the same time. Your actions can be actively hurting other people, whether you're valid for feeling them or not. But she decides to have the conversation with him and address the fact that she's going to be going back to Brazil sometime soon, and they still haven't fully defined their relationship. And she just says it straight up, because I think at this point she's also knew whether or not the broke ass bum man set up that tarot reading. You knew that. If the tarot reader was on camera, you had to get her permission before she was recorded, before you guys brought all the cameramen in there for their tarot reading. So it's just like, why didn't you intervene to stop him from setting that whole tarot reading up, where the bullshit tarot reader basically went ahead and told Luani that she was the source of all the problems with the relationship? Like, this is not Joe Wild. You can go in there and do something. Do something, please. But y'all just watch. Like, what's your deal? All I can do now is basically hope that Suwan changes for the better, or hope that she leaves, but you know, I'm not gonna be praying on their downfall or anything. But if we're being honest here, like, if their segment wasn't in the show, if they weren't causing all this drama, I don't think this show would have had enough context or enough source to even talk about or be worth talking about. Not to be harsh, but you know, there's not really much happening in this show already. When it comes to Mari, I feel like Danny led Mari on so nastily. So nastily. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. I was even scrolling on TikTok and I saw a post that he made, and this is my first time seeing the show on my TikTok again after I first saw it way back when, before I decided to go ahead and watch it and review it for you guys. And he was basically making like a goodbye post, and in his goodbye post it was ultimately like addressed to Mari, and you see all these photos that you don't actually see in the show, and through these photos they seem much more friendly and much more comfortable with each other than what was shown on camera, which makes me feel even more bad for Mari, because it seemed like he was actually showing interest in her when the whole time, like, what we're getting, although yes, she says like, yeah, he's interested in me, and yeah, I think he actually likes me, it makes it come off as her being more delusional than anything, because they don't really give us much context that he's ever so caring and ever so nice. But like in these photos, it seems like they genuinely have like a good like connection going on, but they're making it seem like she's chasing after a man that doesn't even reciprocate her feelings. And again, I understand not wanting to commit to a relationship, but like, why don't you just say that instead of doing all these loops and turns while trying to get that message across? Whole time you're like hurting the other person in the process. At the end of the day, you knew how you felt and you already had your mind set. But anyways, that's it for the show. We're finally done. We're free from the shackles of what this was. Obviously, like I was saying earlier, I thought it was more of like a career boost story, but it didn't really seem that way towards the end. It seemed much more nuanced and much more complicated than that, especially seeing Luani's relationship. Like, that was just I don't want to speak badly on somebody's relationship, but it's just a train wreck for real. Hopefully, like, this will be like a reminder to other people, and maybe even a warning to them to like not follow in these same steps, to the point where like you're sacrificing yourself for a relationship, not even to get deep or whatever, but like I truly hope that like this is a reminder to other people to like stay grounded in reality and take things for what they are. The grass is always going to be greener on the other side. Don't go chasing like a fantasy. Good people are around everywhere. A good person isn't going to be dependent on where they're born or where they live, or maybe even how they were raised. A good person fully depends on whether or not that person is good or not, if they themselves are actively trying to be a good person. But if you guys had any other feelings, or you guys had any other comments about this, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'm really done this time. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the like to let me know. If you guys really like this video, subscribe so you can watch all my videos. Hello! I love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Pigment blue. Install and go.
Morning. Hilarious things BTS says that makes me question.
Are you lonely?
In 2010, hundreds of protesters marched to Hong Kong's government headquarters, demanding an end to the promotion of Mandarin as a medium of instruction, in response to Guangzhou's protest that took place at the same time. For the past 15 years, differences between Hong Kong's local dialect, Cantonese, and the Mandarin version of Chinese officially used in mainland China have been the focus of intense debate, especially when it comes to deciding which one should take precedence in the city's schools.
因為香港獨特嘅環境，香港廣東話，我哋係不能夠手寫寫落口嘅咁樣，我哋要轉換嘅，我哋要轉換英文，應該就係97之前後咁嗰啲時期，咁你會睇見咦有一堆係用英文，另外一堆就似俾人用中文。政策慢慢嗰個中文嘅地位提升啦。喺香港嚟講，嗰母語教學即係就係用廣東話嚟到去教學嘅。
Starting from
Get in the game with Vector, packed with delicious granola clusters and high protein. Trade with confidence with our easy-to-use direct investing platform. Use our analysis tools to benchmark, customize.
Hilarious things BTS says that makes me question how are they the biggest K-pop woman out there? They use this. And are you sure? Well, I saw this. I saw this TikTok video. Oh, this is different from what I watched in the street. I haven't watched it yet. He got me right away. I saw this. No?
Hi. Hello. Good boy. Where are you from? It's from Korea. It's a long way to come. Long way to come.
I'm surprised you don't know what BTS is. Wait, which episode of this?
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Okay, the audience is chill. Damn. 윤기 메르미. The live.
윤기 메이밍이 아직도
Yo.
꾸준하게 올라온다.
I love y'all for this. Never let 윤기 메르미 down.
약간 저게 약간 조금 뒷북이 되긴 했어. 이 정도면 형 마음에 한 명 품고 있어야 돼. 형 몰래 혼인 신고 안 해? 한 거 아니야 우리?
웃기다. 내림이. 이거 생각해보니 아 진짜 내리는 아
레로 시작하는 음식 아닌 게 없어요. 예? 레로 시작하는 음식 아닌 게 없어요. 예? 뭐 하세요? 음식이 없는?
여기서 아니 뭐 계속 뭐 냄새 빼고 있... 그냥 저할 때는 들고 싶어.
This army wants to be Jungkook's straw. Why? So Jungkook can suck you? That's fine. Yo, why do you gotta pull me seat? Why do you gotta pull me seat?
어딨죠? 당신이 지금
Yes, he did.
자 여러분 저 김아주 명함 땄습니다.
About damn time.
God damn! Holy God damn! 잠깐만요. 한번 떨어졌다는 소문 있으세요?
미친아.
소문 있으세요?
미친아.
성훈이겠지. 아니. Are you ready? I'm ready. Good? Yeah. 3, 2,
Jungkook is an adrenaline junkie. He loves the adrenaline.
여기서는 저한테 한마디 해주고 떨어져 주세요. 요즘에 너무 어서 한마디만 하고 가죠. 그냥 드립.
아 짜증나 볼까요? 어떻게 이렇게 다?
Moonlight, Shadow, Osmosis, Adore.
Lador. First off, my broke ass don't even know what this brand is. So if I have to read that, it's Lador. But it's not Lador. Yo, we're so broke, yo. Are you talking about his titties?
어떻게 너를 그렇게 사랑하냐 막 방법도 물어보고 근데 저는 거울을 볼 때마다 진짜 막 최고로 잘생겼다 이런 게 아니라 너무 제 마음에 들게 생긴 거예요.
진짜 자기를 사랑한 거야 진짜. 진짜 희귀하다. 자기
진짜.
마음에 들게 생겼다.
거울 보면서 진짜 넌 진짜 오늘도 끝내준다.
We need his confidence.
저런 캐릭터.
We need his
한
confidence.
번씩만 읊어줘도 저 자신을 더 사랑하게
진짜 좋을 것 같아. 진짜 좋은 방법이에요 진짜.
오,
진짜 이런 방법을 찾게 되면은 되게 좋을 것 같아요.
Like your period, you can't fast forward this ad, but you can speed up absorption. Now 3 times faster with Always Ultra Thin.
The thing about hair is, even if it starts here, it'll end up there. But the new Swiffer Sweeper Pro is made to get hair anywhere. Brooms just push and move. But Swiffer gives you a clean that's mama-proof. The new collapsible, storable Swiffer Sweeper Pro. Love it or your money back.
Okay.
Day Palisade Hybrid. Some like them toasted.
No, we need to learn from Jim.
팬티 뭐예요? 팬티 갑자기 왜? 나 팬티 왜 브랜드 안 입어? 그거를 말해. 브랜드 안 입어.
불쾌? 그냥 뭔데? 유혹하다? 답답하다? 화가 난다 그냥 분노 패닉? 두렵다 행복? 분노 답답해 이게 뭐야? 놀라다? 행복하다? 환희? 피곤하다? 무료하다? 공허하다? 하다?
And your fans all have different biases. Who's each of your biases within the group?
한 명씩.
Jin? I love myself.
I'm curious, what are some other K-pop bands that you guys think might break in America? Who are you excited about? Who do you listen to?
Maybe BTS. Yes.
BTS.
방탄소년단, you know?
They were
I love BTS.
PR trained here.
Right,
They were-
BTS, what other artists are you guys listening to?
Tommy Sugar's interlude.
Which emoji is your favorite?
He said the BTS emojis.
Oh, you got your own emoji. Okay.
Any words about new album?
Come on, dude. You will know when you listen to our new album and watch performance that liking BTS was the best decision ever.
Oh, I love the confidence.
I like that.
What's your go-to pickup line?
You know BTS?
That shit will work. That shit will work.
Mic drop.
Billboard singer.
What's up, guys? We are BTS. We want to say Happy New Year. Our favorite food is In and Out.
Wow.
And Evan's Panda Express.
누나 들어왔습니다. God damn! 나는 잘 못해.
그러면 우리 이미 맞추는 거지?
Oh my god! My Sheila!
재밌는 근황 없어요?
Poker face, yo.
태양이 가야 된다.
저는 스시 먹으러 갔다 오겠습니다.
네. 나도 사줘 스시.
나랑 사줘.
나 얼굴 뭐야?
자.
나중에 또 올게요.
저희는 지금까지 방탄소년단이었습니다. 둘, 셋, 감사합니다.
I've never seen this clip before.
Yeah, I do it too.
It's like the thing he does.
I do it too. Like, I don't know. I'm so cute.
just got it. God of destruction. He's clumsy. I just got it. He's clumsy.
우리 군대끼리 생각나고 오랜만이네. 오랜만이네. 그거 아니었잖아.
Yo, mind you, this was like 4 or 5 days after discharge.
네, 여기 인사해 좀 해주세요. 저요?
Harassing royal concubine? What is this Catholic concubine? Bro.
저랑 제이홉이랑 같이 탔는데 진짜 둘 다 이렇게 난과 꽉 붙잡고 저는 손도 못 흔들었어요. 이렇게 보고 뭐. 미나상 아리가또 고자이마스. 미나상 아이시테루.
보는 저스케.
제이홉 그러면서 저는 다른 친구들이랑 못 할 것 같아요. 이 친구 막 정국이는 막 난간에 기대고 막 밑도 쳐다보고 막 지민이 막 손을 대고 막 지민이 오늘 온 거 봤습니다. 아! 근데 귀엽더라고요 자식들. 응? 그 동생들이 좀 그래야지.
I'm happy with Jin. I only need Jin.
원체 이 친구가 또
Because Jin,
조교여서 그런지
he's got charisma, he knows how to really show people what to do. He was like the true leader of the pack.
What? Listen, guys, he just come back very soon. Very, very soon.
I got game, she got game, we got game. Everybody say, half price games, half price games, half price games, half price games. Tap in that car, got
BTS leaving comedians jobless.
이모, 밥 없죠? 밥 좀만. 밥 조금만 주세요.
하나, 둘, 셋, 지민. 영국. 정답. 하나, 둘, 셋. 하나, 둘, 셋. 트레이스. 정답. 자, 하나, 둘, 아르헨티나. 정답. 하나, 둘, 어디죠? 왜? 그 수학인요? 여기가? 러시아.
하나, 둘, 셋.
프랑스.
정답.
정답?
정답.
핀란드.
정답.
와.
하나,
그럼 찍어볼까?
셋.
저기 남극? 뭐 이런 데.
정답.
튀르키?
정답.
정답. 야.
하나, 둘, 셋.
이탈리아.
정답.
포르투갈이에요?
정답.
예.
하나, 둘, 셋.
브라질.
정답.
Wait, what does Namjoon have to do with this? RM. He imitates everyone. Wow. Yo, hold on. What do you mean?
It's not something.
It's true. Science music.
너가 영어를 그냥 말만 좀 말도 못하냐?
야, 종국아.
그만하고 나 이거 방송 끈다 진짜 그러면. Hey, stop it. Stop it, stop it.
No, whenever this video finishes, I'll just like
헬리 뭐야?
stop.
아,
So now kids, getting a little bit hungry.
IT. No, yes. 디르코늄이 있는데 뭔데 그게 있어? 과학 안 돼서 안 배웠어. 형 과학 1시간 동안 되게 열심히 풀었는데 4점 맞았어. 내가 이거 어떻게 알고 있는지 알아요? 내가 어떻게 알아 그거를? 끝말잇기 하려고 다 이겨버리려고 내가 다 이렇게 그 리튬, 이산화나트륨, 화산화나트륨 이게 뭐야 그런 거 없어. 실리콘륨, 아인슈타인륨 내가 아인슈타인륨 뭐야? 아인슈타인륨이라고 했어요.
이래서 사람은 긴장을 해주면 갑자기 일부도 없이 딸꾹질이 나오는
네, 작사 작곡도 저희가 참여를 하면서 진짜 힙합을 즐기고 있는 그런 힙합 팀입니다. 주세요.
The finest luxury fragrance
fragrances are now exclusively available at your local store. Unstoppable's Unlimited collection makes everything smell magnifique. Luxury laundry scent beads so you can smell unstoppable.
Pigment blue. Install and go.
Trade with confidence and reduce your online trading fees with 100 plus commission-free ETFs.
아이고 울면 안 돼.
This was also. This was really also.
시켜주는 나의 가슴까지 사람이 이 눈물을 어찌 가벼이 흘리십니까? 아이고 고마워.
This was really wholesome, man. Really wholesome. I really wonder how she's doing right now.
우리 정국이 막내가 굉장히 안 있잖아요. 이 친구를 어떻게 깨울까 굉장히 고민을 하고 있었는데 이 친구가 옷을 벗고 자더라고. 상상이 되네. 제가 이 친구의 찌질을 한번 만져볼게요.
괜찮은데? 재현이요? 멋진 남자가 되지? 더 참아야지 전국에
Yo, any updates on this kid? Any updates?
귀여워.
I want to know any updates or any updates there are.
Now, before we take off, please ensure that all small items are secured. What? I will kick you.
Bro. Y'all get that, right?
ENFP 아니면 INFP 했는데 나 이제 ENTP. 뭐 T야? 아, 나 이게 왜 T야? 애들 어리고 하는 거 그냥 못 받겠어.
I'm cracking up.
진짜 너 T야?
두 달 조금 남았네. 내가 이번에 많이 듣고 왔어. 형들이랑도 얘기 많이 하고 얘랑 나랑 동반 입대하잖아.
아 뭐 진영 말로는 막 동반 입대하면 막 진짜 막 뭐 10년지기도 친구도 싸운다 막 이러는데.
근데 그거는 맞는 말이긴 해.
아니 나는 솔직히 말하면은 싸우는 거 걱정 절대 안 되고.
나도 안 돼.
가서 오히려 의지가 진짜 많이 될 것 같아.
나도. 옆에 그냥 머리 빡빡 민. 형한 명만 있어도. 우리 이렇게 마주 앉았으면 좋겠다. 마주 보고.
나도. 난 옆에 절대 안 될 거야. 옆에 누우면 팔꿈치를 맞잖아.
Look at them now. Their bond is stronger than ever.
저는 지금 브라운입니다. 브라운. 야, 진짜 이거 하는 의미가 없네요. 진짜 브라운이다. 네, 이거 다 가려버리네요. 네. 이거 압니다.
야, 이거 많이 올라졌네요.
아, 좀 귀여워. 코에서 나오는 거예요? 이거 뭐야 이게? 코에서 나오는데요? 이거 되게 독특하게 만드셨어요. 여러분들 이런 재밌는 그렇죠. 재밌는 게 굉장히 많습니다. 네네. 그럼 또 뭘까요? 나왔네요. 약간 이거 어디서 많이 본 듯한 지엽씨 팬미팅. 지엽씨 누나 아니에요?
It's addicting.
It's that side.
I'm sorry, I'm the leader of this group, and because I'm the spokesperson, I'm going to speak a lot. I'm sorry.
Hello. My name is Jin, and I'm handsome.
Hi, my name is Shango. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm your
Help
home,
me, you're my home. MJ, help!
right here.
Help!
Hi. It's really nice to meet you. I'm Jimin.
Hi, guys. My name's B. I'm a good boy.
Hi, Sabrina there. Hi, Sabrina, we're BTS. Yes. Sabrina, what do you like most about these guys?
I like how they're really talented and they're very inspiring. Like all their songs, I love them.
You inspire me too, sir. But Sabrina, let's just cut to the important. Who do you have the biggest crush on?
Don't cook.
Still stands BTS.
안녕하세요. 한국말 잘하시는
level 10.
Still stands BTS.
She's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
You guys?
So happy right now.
Me too.
I wonder if she still stands BTS. What do y'all think? I hope she does.
She better.
Pull it, click it, push it. With Tampax Compact, only Tampax has a leak guard brake for built-in backup.
We're potty training. He's got pull-ups training pants. They work just like undies. And if accidents happen, he's got backup. Look at that confidence.
Oh, I wish I had some of that.
This is a journey. Listen up.
I'm a big kid now.
BTS.
Okay. So, this is where I've reached so far for this one. So, it's good progress. Gonna pause for now because I'm a bit hungry and I feel like I have to do like other things as well. But, yeah, check out my. I will finish coloring this like later tonight, but like off camera because it'll take me too long to finish this. And probably changing my mind about doing this one on camera. I probably do some like more simple ones, like more from like the. Like I'll do it like some more from these, and then I have 2 other simple ones, and then my childhood one as well. So yeah, I think we'll probably do those to make it a little bit shorter. Like I guess we'll test both Like I think I'll test both. I'll test like both out and see which one you guys like more. And after that, so the second one I'll try to make it a little bit shorter, and then you can comment on either one if you like shorter or longer. And then based on that, I'll probably, if longer, then I'll do more. And I'll do like just this one because it does take me a bit longer. So if shorter, we'll either do this one or like some of my other simple ones. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and have a good rest of your day, night, etc.